Hello and welcome back to the channel, and thanks for joining me. We've got a special video today on that side. Lovely Clive de Carl. Hello, Clive.
Hello, Richard. Hello, everybody.
Lovely to have you here. Now, we are doing a talk. We've teamed up. Clive's been on my show. I've been on his show. We've met. We've been having wonderful conversations about health and where we are and what's going on in the world. And Clive came up with this genius idea, which I thought was that he was going to go and do a one-man show and I could come and watch it. And then at the end he said, well, why don't you do it with me? Something like that anyway. And we thought that would be a good idea. So what have we come up with then, Clive?
Well, my feeling is that there are so many solutions to all the world's problems out there. And the problem is that people aren't aware that they exist.
Right.
So they know what they don't want. You know, they don't want this and they don't want that. But they're not clear as to what they do want. So my feeling is that between us, we can put forward some suggestions that might be useful. I mean, you've interviewed so many interesting people recently. You've had all sorts of takes on different subjects. And I think to sort of focus that down is to say, look, how are we going to come out well from what's proposed? And it seems to me that we have to, so to speak, step out of what they want and create our own solutions, run our own lives. And I think, from my perspective, because health has been my speciality for a while, is that to achieve anything, you've got to be healthy. And actually, most people have got aches and pains and this and that, or if they haven't, then granny has, or the kid's got something. And, you know, something like 16 years ago, I found that there was one supplement that stopped me getting colds and flus. I used to get colds and flus all the time. And I'd made one change, which I realized it was in winter that I was getting the colds and flus. And I added vitamin D in winter of the right amount and never got a cold or a flu ever again, 16 years. So whether the problems are with your eyes or your brain or your heart or whatever, I'm going to attempt in the time allotted to run through as many answers that you can try that are safe, easy, in many cases really inexpensive, which might fix yourself. I had arthritis 38 years ago so badly I couldn't walk or get dressed. And I fixed it because all it was toxic poisoning from an antibiotic I'd had, a nutrient deficiency because the antibiotic had damaged my gut. But I recovered completely. And the doctor said, well, that's impossible. But I'm living proof. And so the answers are out there. And I think we can hopefully make them laugh a bit and, have an amusing evening as well as put over some interesting stuff.
And you're absolutely right. The answers are out there, and sometimes we can't say them on platforms like YouTube because, for reasons not immediately obvious, but they like to shut people down or cancel people. But if you're in a room with those people who can ask questions from the floor to an expert like yourself and a newbie like me who's interviewed, as you say, all these people, and I can pull back some of that information that I've learnt, then no one's there to shut us down, and we can speak freely and have a jolly good evening answering questions and imparting solutions for the future, which sounds very great. And also listen to what other people think or are worried about.
Yeah, very much so. So, we're going to invite questions if people want to either ask us something or put forward their own brilliant idea. Whether it's time for everybody to put forward their great brilliant idea, probably not. But nevertheless, we'll do our best.
We certainly will. So we've got a date for this first one, which is the 4th of July. It's an easy date to remember, hopefully. I forget what day of the week it is. My diary is so full. And I can't remember whether it's a Friday or which.
I'm pretty sure it's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. There you go. Because trying to get halls and things. It's a Tuesday evening, 6:30. The doors are open. 7 o'clock start. I understand that we're also going to offer some organic food. We're going to feed them.
Well, yeah. When I go out in the evening, quite often. I might have eaten beforehand, but I might be a bit peckish. And I thought, well, we'll give them some nice organic little finger food to eat and organic things to drink, and it makes it ludicrously good value.
It's ludicrous to give value, absolutely. But it also breaks the ice because, you know, it's like when you're eating something, you're chatting to the person next to you. It's a little bit different. It's a bit unusual to be offered something. So I think that would be nice. And of course, it will be organic. So that will be a nice little conversation starter because many people perhaps don't have as much chance to have organic food. They may be having because they work so hard and nip to the supermarket or go to a takeaway and maybe not experienced some nice healthy food, especially as we're talking about health. I think it would complement the evening very much.
I thought about, well, shall we poison the audience?
Yes.
Or not? And after deep contemplation, I thought not.
Do you know, I think it makes sense not to poison them because they may come back to another event, you see. Absolutely. We've got to look after these wonderful people who would be interested in what we've got to say in our solutions. If they can't make it, though, I think we're planning to do a live stream as well. So no matter where you are, you could join us and watch you could. Obviously, you don't get the food that way. But you can watch us. You can salivate. Is that the right word?
Salivate. Video of the food.
Yes. Nice big close-ups of us eating and slow it down as we're wonderfully enjoying these morsels of food. Maybe not. What else have we got to offer? Oh, we better say where it is, I suppose. I mean, all of this will be in the description anyway, but it's at a place called the Ralli Hall, which is very close to Hove Station in East Sussex, which is just along from Brighton. And I should just warn anybody who's coming by car, parking in that area is on a meter. And you can find parking, but you do sometimes have to have a little bit of a stroll. But if the evenings are like they have been, it'll be absolutely lovely. But the train station is very close.
And Ralli Hall is spelled Ralli.
Yes, that's
Ralli Hall in Hove.
It's a jolly nice hall. I've actually been there. Mark Devlin did a talk fairly recently there, which we went to see, and it's a lovely hall. It's very ornate, sort of a bit Victorian-y, and it should have good acoustics. Although we'll have our own PA system, and I can't think any reason why you wouldn't want to go.
Absolutely, and if you want to buy some tickets, if you go to my website, which is clivedecarl.com, they'll be available there.
And I'll put a link in the description. So if you're twiddling your thumbs on the 4th of July and you're not particularly bothered about celebrating for the American independence and all of that, or you just want a bit of something different to do and you want some jolly good solutions, then you wouldn't do worse than coming to see Clive de Carl and Richard Vobes in conversation with something, some shenanigans.
Well, it will be about independence for us, won't it, actually? It's Independence Day. We want to become independent.
Do you know, I wish I'd thought that link before I'd opened my mouth, because you're so right. That is exactly what it is. Independence for us. Love it.
Yay. Good. Thanks, Richard.
My pleasure. I look forward to seeing you there, and we look forward to seeing the audience there. So go to Clive's website and you'll be able to get the tickets. And I can't remember how many it holds, but there's about 100 or so, I think. So
I think it's a couple of hundred.
Oh, is it a couple of hundred? There you go. So we can squeeze you in. And if you can't make it, we'll get the online virtual live streaming. That was a technical term. And thank you very much for watching this little brief promo for our talk.